Just explain to us what you've got on here today.
Well, we've drafted all the bulls up into their sire groups. So we've got about 30 sires, and of the sires that had contemporaries greater than 10, they're all represented in the pens, and then there's a few that we put out. There's 14 sires that had contemporaries less than 10 that aren't actually drafted into their sire groups. The idea is to we used to do it years ago when we had less cattle, and obviously it was quite a lot simpler to do it, and it gave us great insight into how each sire was performing in the herd, and things you've got to take into consideration, and how you use them on your cows, and whether they've come out of heifers, and perhaps the age of the calf as well. If they're by a follow-up bull, well, you've got to take all that into consideration. But generally, it gives you a little bit of an impression on how the animal's bred, and it means we can make decisions on whether we continue to use that particular sire.
Are there particular? This is a loaded question, but are there any particular sire lines that are standing out in amongst the groups today?
Well, I think that there are a couple that are standing out, phenotypically, probably for growth, and that's what attracts our eye immediately. And so there are some, I think the Regents and the B1s and the Drossen 241s are standing out. And I'm quite surprised with the Africas too, because that's perhaps not something that Africa was really designed for. He's a good calving ears animal, and they're looking good out there too. And
tell me, what's the age spread on these calves? Are they all within
we have
2 months? Or?
Yeah, the first couple of calves get born in July. Well, when I say couple now, it's probably the first 50. Then there'd be 500 born in September and August, September. And then, nothing in October now. Yeah.
And Tom, all these bulls are destined for your sale, or various sales throughout the country?
These bulls are all destined for various client categories. We've got Team Te-Mania. There's 100 going to Team Te-Mania. There's probably 130 going to the southern sale here, 130 odd to Walgett, and then there's bulk bull sales to northern and central Australia, and private sale bulls. Yeah, so all those categories, they'll be drafted up after scanning. So we try and keep this group together. I suppose it's important to know that all these animals have been in exactly the same contemporary group since weaning, and so they were weaned in over 3 days, and all the males were put in one group and all the females in another. We've been feeding them because we haven't had pasture feed really at all for them. So they've been on about 16% protein and 10 megajoules of energy, and as much fibre as they need.
I mean, they look considering it is so dry down here, they look amazing.
Yeah, well, funny thing about, when you go out and actually feed them, you often do a better job than when you're grazing them on pasture, because you tend to concentrate more. You check the manure every day, make sure they're chewing their cud and doing all the right things, so that if you need to tweak the ration, you can. But when they're on pasture, you tend to have them on pasture and say, well, it's a big hassle to go and get the hay trailer out to feed them a bale of hay when the protein's too high in the grass or something like that. So you just tend to let them go, I think.
That's fantastic. Well, great day, mate, and thanks for your time.